Hey, my name is Zachary Dagnall, and I'm here to demonstrate my app, GameBoyzArcade. So I start by logging in, and we see here that I have a list of all the games I've previously played on the app, and also the scores that go with them. So if there's any of these I don't like maybe the 0 right here, I can click on the X, and it goes away from my record forever. So I can delete those from my record. First, I'll demonstrate Tic Tac Toe here. So you place your X, and your opponent will place their O, and you can continue to do that until somebody gets, obviously, 3 in a row. So maybe I'll see if I can avoid winning. I can't. So I click that last spot, and it says you won with the little alert at the top there. Okay, clicking OK takes me back to the main screen, where I'll click on the next game, which is 6144, which is a sort of a clone of that game 2048 that was popular for a while, except 2048 uses all 2s, whereas this one uses 3s, 6s, and 12s, etc. You'll notice there's already a bunch of tiles on here. That's because I had played the game previously, and it actually remembered where I left off. So refreshing the game will keep it back in the same spot that you left it off. Okay, and that's because it memorizes the position. So you swipe left, right, up, down with the arrow keys, and you see these 12s can combine to a 24. If I can get my 24s next to each other somehow, that might be able to combine them into a 48. See if I can get them next to each other. Might be a little bit tricky. I'm also not super great at it, but that's okay. Okay, then I can get a 48 and etc. there. Now, if I'm actually done with the game, I can click on quit, and it'll finish the game. So I can't come back to it anymore once you quit it. It says game ended, and OK takes us back to the menu screen here. This next game, Fibonacci Tiles, is a lot like the 6144 and the 2048 games, except in order to combine 2 tiles, they're not going to be the same number, but they have to be adjacent Fibonacci numbers. Like in this case, 1 and 2 will make a 3. 2 and 3 will make a 5, because those are Fibonacci numbers. 1 and 1 can make a 2, but if I had 2 5s, for example, or 2 3s, they would not combine because they're not adjacent Fibonacci numbers. So you need 2 numbers to be adjacent Fibonacci numbers in order to be able to combine them. Okay, so let's see, like for example, I have those 2 2s or the 2 3s, but the 3s will not combine with each other because they're not adjacent Fibonacci numbers. Now a 2 and a 3, if I swipe down, should make a 5, and a 5 and an 8 should make a 13. Okay, so and you can continue to make 21, 34, etc. to get the biggest Fibonacci number that you can. In 6144 and in Fibonacci tiles, the same rule for the score happens, that every time you combine 2 tiles, the sum is what gets added to your score. So when I just made a 13, I had 13 points added to my score. Okay, you also see that on each of these games, there's a leaderboard that shows you the highest 10 scores that from users that have played the games before. Okay, so I'm going to quit that game and go back to the main menu. My next game here is Connect 4. Okay, so you hit any of these tiles and a token will randomly be dropped down to the bottom. The computer will also select a random tile, which will drop their token down to the bottom. And you can continue to proceed until somebody, either you or the computer, gets down to 4 in a row. So whoever gets 4 in a row first, whether horizontally, diagonally, whatever will get Connect 4, and you'll win the game. Okay, next we have lights out. The goal here is to try to get all of them to turn on. Every time you click on any tile, that tile and all of its adjacent ones will switch. So if I click on this one here, this one and this one will go off, but these 3 here will go on. And you see that's what happens there. So the goal is to try to do that in as few moves as possible, because every time you make a move, you lose 25 points here. And so you're trying to do that before you get down to 0 to get all of them on. That's the goal of that game. Click quit, we go back to the main screen. And lastly, we have this last game here. Oh no, this version wasn't meant to be pushed yet. It's riddled with bugs. Okay, so it's another version of the 6144, 2048 style game. Okay, but the gimmick about this one is that there are bugs that will randomly show up. So I'm going to try to click through it quickly. Okay, so now we have a mosquito that showed up. And so this mosquito shows up, and now if I click to the right, everything goes to the left. And if I click down, everything goes up. It reverses my controls. So when I'm you can't see which keys I'm typing, but each time that happens, it reverses that there. So how am I going to be able to do this? Well, if I click on Control Option J and open up my little console here for my web development, okay, it says that when a bug appears, the controls will be reversed. Okay, so in order for me to get the controls back to normal, because that's really confusing, I'm going to have to get rid of this bug. It says a bug with a tile bigger than or equal to this number is going to be able to squash it. Okay, so for a mosquito, it looks like I need a 48. Well, I have a 48, but I'm going to need to find out a way to get that to be next to my mosquito so that I can use it to squash that mosquito bug. Okay, and so, now my 48 is next to my mosquito. So if I swipe left, it'll crush it, but I have to hit the right arrow key. Everything's switched to the left, and we see the alert that says a mosquito bug was squashed by a 48 tile. Great job. Okay, and you can continue to do that. Other bugs will show up, and anytime there's any bugs, and even more than one bug on the screen, it'll continue to have the controls reversed, and it'll take up a spot where you want to have numbers so that you can continue to get a high score there. If you fill up the board and don't have any moves available left, then it will tell you game over. And so just there, I had filled out the entire board. I had no moves available. The bug that had a scorpion there, so it got in the way there. And so that was the end of my ability to beat that. And that's it for Game Boys Arcade.